Hi, this is Kara with the Barn Church and Ministries here in St. Joe, Michigan. Thank you for watching and sharing this week's Reload, where we hope to motivate and challenge you to keep pursuing Jesus. I know I spoke a couple weeks ago about passionate worship, and I want to ask today, why do we think it takes 2 or 3 songs before we feel the presence of Jesus? Does it take that long to acknowledge him? Is that why? I'm just really wanting to pose the question. Some places often hear things like that, like, wow, after the 3rd song, I really felt some tingles, or wow, worship was good today, or the music was, really amazing. So let me ask, what is that about? If you're worshiping the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, how is worship based on the music? Can't we enter the presence of God even in silence? Or at least shouldn't we be able to recognize his presence the minute we enter the sanctuary? And if not, do you think that's a problem? Jeremiah 29:13 says, "If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me." Isn't that worship? Isn't that looking for him? He isn't hard to find, so why would it take 3 songs plus a certain rhythm to find him? Psalm 139:7 says, "I can never escape from your presence, from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence." If we can't escape his presence and his spirit, it must be us that are just not acknowledging that he's there in the first place. So this week, try something different. Acknowledge him when you go to church. Recognize he is or should already be there. When you walk into that room or that sanctuary, say hello, pause before you enter and acknowledge him. And here's the really big deal. If you feel nothing and you can't sense his presence after that, if you don't get a rush of his love towards you, then is Jesus even there? And if Jesus isn't there, then why are you? Jesus should be the star of every show in every church, not the lead pastor, not the worship leader, not the best singer, not the sermon, and certainly not your favorite song. It should be Jesus. So if you are not encountering Jesus, you need to examine what's going on and why. It's time for Jesus to arise and take over his church again. It used to be that way in the New Testament church, that Jesus was in charge and what he said they did. Nowadays, there's often a dampening of the spirit to stay on the agenda and make sure there's an hour and 15-minute service, but that doesn't change people's lives. Jesus changes people's lives. And if he doesn't live where you are, if he's not recognized and allowed to control where you are, then you need to question why you're there. Sorry, but it's the truth. John 4:24 says, "For God is spirit, so those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." If his spirit isn't there and available, then it isn't where you should be. Revelations 3:15-16 says, "I know all the things you do, that you are neither hot nor cold. I wish that you were one or the other. But since you are like lukewarm water, neither hot nor cold, I'll spit you out of my mouth." You better figure out how to be on fire for Jesus and get to a place where other people are, because Jesus isn't coming back for the lukewarm. He's coming back for those that are on fire. So that's my challenge for you this week. If you want to know more about us and what we do, we're a presence-driven church. You can find out more at thebarn.church or our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at The Barn Ministries. We'll see you next week.